All right, today's speaker is 12th Judicial Circuit Chief Judge Diana Moreland. Judge Moreland was recently honored as the 2025 recipient of the Chief Justice Award for Judicial Excellence, honoring her service to and leadership within Florida's judicial branch. Judge Moreland was first elected to the bench in 2004 and has held many leadership positions for Florida's courts. Judge Moreland has served as Chief Judge for the 12th Judicial Circuit since 2023. She is a graduate of the United States Merchant Marine Academy and earned her law degree from Stetson University College of Law. She is also a veteran, having served in the U.S. Navy Reserve. She started her law career as an assistant public defender and then worked in private practice for several years before her election to the bench. Please welcome Chief Judge Moreland.
Well, first I want to know if the science, if you're not a scientific person, if that means you're the experimentee. I really think you all should work that out first. You don't want to show up and suddenly know they're prodding you. Secondly, probably one of the best things already of today's presentation is, as he indicated, I ran for the first time in 2024, lost to Judge Nicholas, who is a very good friend of mine, and then re-ran, and on both occasions I had Sue Sweat at my side, and I got to see her again in such a long time. She was out on the corners waving with me and everything, so I greatly appreciate it. It's great to see her here today. Thank you, Dr. Mullins. Thank you, everyone, for inviting me here. And just to let you know, I'm not typically the speaker. I generally act as the warm-up act for Judge Smith, which means I have to show a magic trick or sing a song or do a little ditty when he's promoting his books. But today he said, oh, and by the way, no, you're not doing that, you're speaking. So bear with me. I did, in preparation, go to the website. I always do that before I speak at a group. And I went through the timeline of all the wonderful things that the Kiwanis has done in Bradenton, and I've been familiar with them for years. But I did note there was one thing missing. In 1996, you supported the Manatee High School mock trial team when they went, and I was coaching them, and you gave them all the money because those varmints not only went up to the Tallahassee and won, but then they got to go all the way to nationals. And Kiwanis, without batting an eye, helped those young people go, and they ended up placing 16th. That's the farthest any other mock trial team has ever gone in Bradenton. So I want to thank you and think it deserves a timeline mark. Today I've been handed the microphone to talk about what's my favorite subject, which is the 12th Judicial Circuit. But first I want to recognize those persons who I consider heroes. Those are the people that are my colleagues. They work 24/7, protecting the Constitution with a pen, to make sure that every veteran who has served in the U.S. Armed Forces in harm's way has had a purpose and a meaning to it. They conduct business in a courthouse and in courtrooms, with limited exceptions, are open to each and every one of you to come watch, to make sure we are doing what you have given us this honor and this position to do. Unlike most government, each one of them invests in their community. As you see today, we have Judge Nicholas here, Judge Sniffen, Judge White, Judge Gould, and Judge Deese, because they're investing, and Judge Steele, and Judge Inman. So we have almost, and Judge Doyle. So we have I say trifecta of my county judges are here. It's amazing the things they do. What do? They do Kiwanis. They do Boy Scouts, they do symphony, they do team programs, they go to schools, and oh yeah, they have that 24/7 job. So those are real heroes that I have the pleasure of serving as Chief Judge. Let me give you a little information about the 12th Judicial Circuit. The 12th Judicial Circuit is considered a medium-sized circuit. There are 20 circuits in this state. We are a medium size. We are joined as a medium-sized circuit by the 1st Circuit, the 5th Circuit, the 7th Circuit, the 10th Circuit, 18th, and the 19th. As you can imagine, that means we have a lot of items that we look to the county to help us with. We don't have the richest counties. My county to the south, DeSoto in east, has a county that we have to look to facilitate and provide funds in other ways. We also have Manatee and Sarasota. Well, you're here when I go into the budgets, the extreme difference even between those. So we have three counties within this circuit, each with their own identity, each with those heroes that are working tirelessly to support justice. I've given you a handout that should be on your table that tells you and explains to you the actual hierarchy of the 12th Judicial Circuit. As you will note, it's a big grid. We have almost 300 people that work for the 12th Judicial Circuit. Did anybody even know that we had that many employees with the 12th Judicial Circuit? That includes 64 right now, judges and their JAs. So we have 200 and about 39 support staff that helps us run all those judges. The 12th Judicial Circuit runs 7 locations. That's 4 courthouses, DeSoto, Manatee, Sarasota, and our newest courthouse in Venice. That's a lot of square footage. But in addition, we have 3 other locations. We have locations for drug courts. We have locations for our magistrates. And we have locations for the library in Sarasota. So not only do we have 300 people that we're having to support us, we also have 7 locations that it takes us. And we're outgrowing everyone. That's the amazing thing. Budget. Does anybody have any idea, just take a guess, of how much of the state budget goes to the judiciary? And I'm talking about the whole state budget going to all the state of Florida judges. Any thoughts? Stab?
15%.
Less than 1%. It's 6.65%. Good job. So that's what the judiciary costs the state. So they have the certain obligations they have to provide us. In 2025, the 12th Judicial Circuit, excluding the salaries, received $1,595,000. $1,595,000 approximately for our operating costs. So where do we go for others? After Article 7 passed, the counties are responsible for providing us certain funds. They're responsible for helping us with the drug courts or the problem-solving courts. They're responsible for our infrastructure and security. They're responsible for our technology in most regards. To cover all that, Manatee County, which includes 8 salaries for county employees that actually work under our umbrella and guidance, we received approximately $1.5 million. In Sarasota County, we have 49 employees that are paid by county funding down there because we do something unique down there with our pretrial services. And we get about $6.9 million are going to come to us in the next fiscal year, 25 to 26. And that was lower than we got the year before because of the concerns of what might happen to the economy. So it's with that budget that we operate the 7 courts, the 7 facilities, and the operating expenses of the judiciary and the 12th Judicial Circuit. And we are grateful for every penny. We are so grateful for every penny. One of the things I thought was the most unique when I got this job as a chief judge is first I had to learn how my own circuit was hierarchy ran. But more importantly, and I see Ms. Coloniso out there, she is on there, she's on the same road and bandwagon as me on many occasions we see each other, is going to the state to ask for funds, going to each county to ask for funds to try to keep our business going. Fortunately, I'm glad for every dime that I get. And last year I got a bonus for about $300,000 from the state funds of leftover funds that were about ready to be scooted back to the general fund. And I said, hey, we could use it for IT. So that was a bonus for us last year. So how else do we know, besides the fact that if you come to our courthouses, where we run an open courthouse so that you can watch us, how else do you know that we are getting huge in the 12th Judicial Circuit? What else do you think may be a judge? Traffic, right? Go ahead.
More homes?
More homes, that's it, right? We know that there's more homes. One of the biggest things that we have is filings. Everything that comes before a judge goes through Ms. Coloniso's office, Clerk Coloniso's office first, and those filings are up. So, since the filings were up, our time is still limited to 24 hours, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. What do you think has to happen? Or what do you hope that has to happen to deal with all this upswing? Excuse me? More people, exactly. So, this last couple of years, I've been pounding the story, and I got to tell you, the legislative delegation from this area was amazing. I started in about 2023 sending letters. Hey, we're going to do a time study here pretty soon, and these are my filings. Could you please do a letter of support? Because I'm going to need new judges. I reminded them several times on this trip down the road. Because what happens is we do time studies, and the time study supported that in the 12th Judicial Circuit we needed new judges. That was not a surprise. I have 4 women working in the Manatee County Judicial Division. That's Judge Inman, Judge Doyle, Judge Gould, and Judge Steele. Those women are working their bottoms off. Let me give you their numbers. The county criminal bench, 2 judges. In 2024, they did 890 cases. 8,890 cases, thank you. Through the third quarter in criminal this year, those same the 2 criminal judges I have now have already done 6,568. We're ahead of schedule. It gets worse. Our county civil judges in 2024 did 8,738 cases. By the end of the third quarter in 2025, they did 8,090. That's an unimaginable pace. I was never a county judge except during COVID, and all I could think about, send me back to the circuit bench. These people have it hard. And, you know, it was probably one of the best learning experiences of my life to actually have my bottom in those seats, to appreciate everything that they do. So you can see why it was not hard for me to say, I need a Manatee County judge. Every step of the way, I was asked if I had to make Sophie's choice, because I was certified by the Supreme Court for 1 circuit judge and 1 county judge. At every stage, I said, if I have to make a choice, I need that Manatee County judge. Because you know what is amazing? Despite those numbers, they're in the top 5 of clearance rate. And that's not to say they're not doing justice. If you go into their courtroom, you're going to see justice all the time. You're just going to see 4 women that work really hard. The other numbers that I think that have to be spoken about, we have 3 judges doing criminal, and in 2024, among the 3 of them, they did 3,762 cases. By the third quarter in 2025, they've already done 3,150. The circuit civil judges, 2024, they did 2,040, 2 judges. And they did, by the third quarter, 2,246. Now, the interesting thing about that is we had the aberration in 2024 where there was burden shifting and there were all these dump of cases. We're still ahead of them in 2025. Our family judges, not to be outdone, did 3,074 cases in 2024, 2 judges. And by the third quarter, they've done 2,378. In juvenile, we have 2 judges. Some of our more complicated cases. In 2024, we did 1,134, and already by the third quarter of 2025, they hit 1,256. So, I had the numbers, right? So you're going door to door and saying, if you want to talk to me, I'm going to talk to you about this because we have a need. We have more building permits. I was quoting building permits that were being applied for. I was telling them they built a new facility down in South Venice for mental health. Every one of those growths mean I need more judges or magistrates and certainly all the support staff that comes with them. In the end, we were successful. In the end, we got 2 circuit judges and we got that Manatee County judge. So I'm very happy to say at some point, Heather, Renee, Melissa, and Jackie, I think there's relief on the way. Unfortunately, because there were so many awarded judgeships in 2025, at the end of the legislative session, is that it's slowly rolling out. Unfortunately, we're having vacancies as quick as we are. We're going to lose people. We're losing Judge Aaron at the end of the year, who's our problem-solving judge. We have Judge Smith, who keeps saying he's turning 75, no matter what I say, and so he's leaving us. And we have other retirements that are coming up. But I got to tell you, the examples that I've given you, not one of us will drop the ball. The judicial system and the 12th Judicial Circuit will keep marching on because that's what we do. The other thing I will point out during this process that came abundantly clear is that even if we were awarded judges, in so many areas, we depend on our partners to be equally staffed. Were you equally staffed, Ms. Coloniso?
No way.
And if I had Ed Brodsky here for the state attorney's office, or if I had Lawrence Eager for the public defender's office, I would hear the same thing. I'm hoping that in this next legislative session, that by March 13th, 2026, I'm going to hear, because we have an early session, that they also got the new persons to help, so that we can round out those divisions that need the most help, that they are not going to have to even be stretching themselves even thinner to make justice keep marching forward. One of the things that I find interesting about our budget, if you look at the county budgets that we get, about 38 to 45% of it goes to problem-solving courts. I put on your bench there first a picture of the state of Florida. If you see, and it's got little dots on it, if you can look at that, it shows you that where our main problem-solving courts are throughout the state. I'm glad to say that at this point, the 12th Judicial Circuit, because of the work of Judge Aaron, my predecessor, Judge Roberts, my predecessor, Chief Judge Bonner, and on down the list, Judge Williams, we now, as of July of this year, have a problem-solving court in every one of our counties. We just had the certification granted for our problem-solving court, drug court in DeSoto County. That's run by Judge Guy Flowers, who does an amazing job. So understanding such a big budget goes to problem-solving court, you have to understand that that means that in Sarasota alone, we provided drug court testing in 9,929 instances. We did veteran court testing in 440 times in 2024. In DUI court in Sarasota, 8,400 drug and alcohol tests. In healthcare court, we did 594 tests. And pretrial service clients, which we run in Sarasota, which is why there's the huge budget difference between Manatee and Sarasota, we have 4,144 tests. Safe Coalition Dependency Court, we did 936 tests, and court-ordered individually by judges, we did 55. So what I'm telling you is we have a lot of problem-solving court. The other document that you have there that looks like this. And it tells you all the treatment and problem-solving court. Well, I said that we have just had our newest drug court start in DeSoto. We have many other drug courts, problem-solving courts. It's one of the few things that's regularly financed because people have realized the success rate that's involved with drug court or problem-solving courts. So in Sarasota, we have comprehensive treatment courts. There are 3 different programs, all under one program. That's the healthcare court, which is designated for individuals who voluntarily want to enter or enter through conditional release, charged with a qualifying offense, which accepts felonies as a condition of probation or pretrial intervention, does not accept burglaries or DUIs, also accepts misdemeanors as part of a probation or division program, but also does not accept DUIs. And they have to agree that they are going to meaningfully engage in outpatient treatment. If they enter through diversity, through a diversion program, the case will be possibly dismissed or at least reduced in charge. And if they enter through a misdemeanor division program, it will be dismissed. That's pretty good motivation, wouldn't you think? Instead of worrying about the case, everything, you're getting treatment, you're getting support, and you are going to have your case dismissed if you're successful. We also have a misdemeanor comprehensive treatment court designed for individuals charged with a misdemeanor, except a DUI again, and enter through a diversion program. Cases are dismissed if successful. And finally, we have a felony comprehensive court, which is charged with a third-degree felony that does not involve violence or threat of violence, firearms, and is not a habitual violent offender qualifying events. Gives you an idea of how many people we're trying to get. In 2024 in Sarasota, we had about 400 people that went through the problem-solving court. In Manatee County, it was about 380. The recidivism rate is around 85%. I mean, lower than, it's only 15%. I'm sorry, I said it backwards, I'm sorry. I said it backwards. Thank God I watch people's faces. So it's a pretty good return area in your investment. It was so valued that it went on to other community care courts where we started deciding that we have such chronic homelessness that we started community care courts in both Manatee and in Sarasota. For someone that voluntarily wants to enter and abide by the rules, they have to be homeless. They have to be charged with only a city ordinance violation or a qualified misdemeanor, and willing to work with homeless outreach teams and social workers. If successful, the charge can be dismissed or reduced. Great program. The one problem we have here in Manatee County is lack of housing. Homelessness means I have to have housing, right? Or I have to hook them up with some kind of housing, or I have to get them economically on the path to where they can have housing. So it's a little bit more challenging in Manatee County than in Sarasota. We have more housing a bit. And I also don't want to mislead anybody. Every one of these programs have about a dozen other social groups that are working to support them. We have Centerstone, Light Source. We have all the other programs that are out there. There are Harvest House. I can't even think of all the other names. But there's about 30 people if you go to our 12th Judicial website, and I happen to put that down there for you if you want to get more details about it. And what do I think is more and dear to my heart? We have Veterans Treatment Court. Veterans Treatment Court was the first veterans court, was first done in January of 2008, when a judge saw that bringing veterans together, even in a smaller group within drug treatment, whether that occurred on the street, on outpatient or in a pod, which we happen to have here in the 12th Judicial Circuit for veterans. So even if they can't garner their release, they still can get put with other veterans. They have a common language. They have common trauma. They have things that they can sit there and talk about other than just their addiction. And they found that that was hugely successful. So to be a part of our Veterans Court, you have to voluntarily want to join and you have to abide by the rules. You have to be a veteran of the Armed Services of the United States and must have served or is currently serving. You know what is not required in that? It's my share. You don't have to have ever been deployed. You still qualify because you would qualify for the services. And the idea is that these people are so specialized, the social workers and the case managers that are working with these people, is they know what Bay Pines has. They know how to hook them up to things that is just insurmountable if you're suffering from trauma, drug addiction, or mental health issues. If someone just helps guide you to the services that are already in place with people you're comfortable with, the results are resounding. We also have a program called Turn Your Life Around. I don't know if anybody's heard. We call it TILA. It was started in 2013. And it has to be people that voluntarily want to be there, has a charge of prostitution or non-prostitution charge by the agreement of the defense attorney and the state, and who meets the eligibility requirements of the TILA case coordinators. And the key to that is they do all the counseling. We've connected with this TILA, so they provide services for these particular people that are in communities that the sex trade targets, because they know how to better end the cycle of the sex trade. We also have 3 juvenile courts, problem-solving courts. We have early child care court. Judge Deese, here with us in the room, is an award winner from that. If I was up here and talking about this in any detail whatsoever, I'd be completely intimidated. What I do know is that I need funding for it, and so I know how to do that. So I can tell you that Representative McFarland is working really hard for us to keep the funding because she terms out. So that's a thing that you're going to be hearing about a lot. For me to be able to keep that funding coming into the court system so we don't lose this program that targets a population of abused and neglected children, 0 to 24 months. I was in the other room before I walked in here giving a speech in another program virtually. It was on trauma. And it's about the trauma and ACE that these children suffer in their homes, in their schools, but more importantly when they enter our courtrooms. And the main thrust of what the best part of the early childhood court care is that it reduces the time that they're languishing in our system. In other words, instead of having a case pen 772 days to make the adoption, the days now they're estimating are down to 650. Less times we're touching that child and causing issues in a 0 to 24-month-old's life. And the significantly shortens the time from removal to reunification, from 335 days to 286. Those are some good results. Finally, in Sarasota, we have 2 other courts, problem-solving court. We have truancy, and Judge Malucci is getting it started here in Manatee County very soon. It's actually not run by the judges. The school board runs it, but they have us come in and be the hammer. I don't know why. And finally, we have something called the Options Court, which is to prevent human trafficking in vulnerable population in teenagers. So that's the status of the state court of the 12th Judicial Circuit. I'm proud to say I think that we're standing strong. We have challenges, but we're not unusual challenges that almost everybody has. There's too little money, too much need, but guess what? I have 32 judges right now that you can count on getting the work done. You have their staff, my own assistant sitting right there, Judge Smith and his assistant there. They're to assist us to get that work done. And hopefully soon, I'm going to say, I have 35 judges and 35 judicial assistants that are standing strong, and I'll still have a need. So thank you all very much. I appreciate it.
Well, hold 1 second, one quick thing. It is a Bradenton Kiwanis tradition to present you with a golden roller to measure
Oh,
your future
nice.
success and the future success of the 12th Circuit.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. Thank you so much for that wonderful presentation. Very informative. And thank you, Judge Moreland. That was awesome. And as you guys notice, all the judges already have left because they all have to go back to work. So, all right. Thank you, everyone, for coming today. Please join us next week. We'll have a fun presentation from Frank Bruner on the real Santa Claus. So don't miss that. All right, everyone, have a wonderful week. Meeting adjourned.